Welcome back to our channel, fellow soap obsessive. Today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the absolutely wild drama happening in Genoa City, so grab your favorite mug of coffee, get comfortable, and let's get right into the madness. I cannot believe they did that. I am literally sitting here typing this at 2 in the morning because my brain is just spinning out of control after watching the August 3rd episode. Are we really supposed to just accept that Mariah Copeland is just better? Like, completely cured and ready to rejoin society? Just like that? And don't even get me started on Devon Winters. I am vibrating with frustration over how this entire dynamic is playing out between Devon, Mariah, and Abby. I need to get this out of my system before I explode. Because let's be real for a second. Mariah kidnapped a baby. She took Dominic, caused the entire town to go into a massive, panic-induced tailspin, and was sent to a psychiatric facility because she was having a full-blown psychotic break. She was hallucinating Ian Ward, for crying out loud. And now she is just strolling back into Crimson Lights like she just got back from a weekend yoga retreat in Sedona? I know some people are loving this reunion, but personally, I feel like I have emotional whiplash from how fast they rush this recovery storyline. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the actual reunion scene first. So, Sharon is at Crimson Lights, doing her usual Sharon thing. She's probably wiping down the espresso machine, arranging the pastries, and secretly stressing out over Nick's hidden fentanyl addiction, which is a whole other terrifying mess that we will have to unpack in another video. The bell above the door chimes. Sharon turns around, and boom. Mariah is standing there in the flesh. No warning. No phone call. Just standing there looking completely refreshed. And of course, Mariah kept her official release date a total secret because she wanted to surprise her mother. A surprise? I mean, sure, it is a nice, dramatic gesture for television, but if my daughter had just been locked up in a psych ward for kidnapping my grandchild, I think I would prefer a text message over a random pop-in. But Sharon's reaction was undeniably heartwarming. She bursts into tears, rushes over the counter, hugs her daughter like she is never going to let go, and calls it the greatest gift she could ever receive. I've been watching since 2015, and I have to say, Sharon's blind spot for her kids is both her absolute best and worst trait. Remember when she tried to cover up for Noah's hit and run or defend Nick when he was doing incredibly stupid things? Yeah, didn't work then either. But as a mum, seeing her hold Mariah, you can feel the immense relief radiating off the screen. It was a beautiful, tear-jerking moment, even if I am sitting here screaming at my TV about the ridiculous pacing of this medical recovery. But then the entire mood of the coffee house completely shifts. Because guess who decides to walk into Crimson Lights for his daily caffeine fix at that exact moment? Devon Hamilton Winters. The tension in that room was so thick you could cut it with a chainsaw. My heart literally stopped beating in my chest. I was bracing myself for a massive, table-flipping explosion of epic proportions. Because, let's rewind a bit and look at the history here. Devon was furious when the judge handed down that lenient plea deal. He wanted Mariah locked up in a maximum security prison, throwing away the key forever. He was so consumed by rage and paranoia that he was pushing everyone in his life away. He swore up and down that Mariah was a permanent, lingering threat to Dominic's life and that she could never be trusted again. So, Devon locks eyes with Mariah. The woman who stole his biological son. The woman who caused him countless sleepless nights of pure agony. And what does he do? He doesn't scream. He doesn't throw his coffee across the patio. He actually restrains himself? I am sorry, but what? Devon has been a walking powder keg for weeks, ready to detonate at the slightest provocation, and now he is suddenly the picture of absolute zen? I don't buy it for a single second. I kinda get what the writers are trying to do here. Devon has been claiming lately that he is over it. He has been telling anyone who will listen that his anger issues are not about Mariah anymore, that he has moved past the kidnapping trauma, and that his internal struggles are rooted in something much deeper. But am I the only one who thinks that is total garbage? You don't just get over someone kidnapping your kid. You just don't. Devon walks over to the table, and the exchange is so incredibly stiff and awkward. He actually wishes her a speedy recovery and hopes the psychiatric treatment is working for her. I was literally screaming at my screen, asking who replaced Devon with a robot. It felt so completely out of character for the Devon we have seen recently. But then, right when I thought the writers had completely lost their minds, he drops the hammer. He gives her a very stern, very cold, very terrifying warning to keep her distance from Dominic. And there it is. That is the Devon we know and love to hate, right? He might be playing nice for the public, trying to act like the bigger person in front of Sharon because he respects her, but the underlying threat was loud and clear. He basically told her that he won't cause a scene today, but if she even looks at his son, he will destroy her. After delivering that chilling warning, he just turns on his heel and storms out to go sulk somewhere else like a brooding teenager. Okay, back to the point. Devon's reaction is exactly why his marriage with Abby is completely falling apart right now. Abby is sitting at home, or over at society, just pulling her blonde hair out because Devon refuses to actually deal with his complex emotions. He is bottling everything up, claiming he is totally fine, claiming his anger isn't about Mariah anymore, but then he acts like a dark storm cloud hovering over the entire city. I feel so incredibly bad for Abby right now. I really do. Remember when they tried this exact same emotional distance storyline with Chance? When Chance came back from his undercover mission in Spain and was dealing with his severe PTSD, he pushed Abby away too. It is like Abby is doomed to be with men who absolutely refuse to go to therapy and talk about their feelings. Devon is literally repeating the exact same toxic cycle, shutting his wife out when she just wants to help him navigate through this massive crisis. Abby is incredibly frustrated, and honestly, she has every single right to be. She went through the horrific kidnapping trauma too. Dominic is her son too. But Devon is acting like he is the sole victim in this scenario, carrying the weight of the entire world on his shoulders and completely icing out the woman who is supposed to be his life partner. If Devon doesn't get his act together and actually communicate with Abby, they are going to end up in divorce court by Christmas. Mark my words, it is going to happen. Let's take a minute to really unpack why Devon is acting. Devon lost Hillary. He lost his unborn baby with Hillary in that horrific car crash years ago. That trauma completely rewired his brain. When Dominic came into his life, it was his second chance at fatherhood, his second chance at having a piece of Neil's legacy carry on. So when Mariah took that baby, she didn't just commit a crime, she triggered every single ounce of unresolved grief and loss that Devon has been carrying around for a decade. That is why his claim that he is over it is so laughably false. You don't just erase that level of psychological trigger with a few deep breaths and a walk through Chancellor Park. And what about Mariah's state of mind? We are supposed to believe that a few weeks in a facility has completely erased the deep-seated maternal obsession she developed for Dominic. She carried that child. She gave birth to him. Her mind literally fractured to the point where she believed she was his only true mother and that she had to protect him from the world. Actually, wait, maybe she is healed. The facility in Genoa City is supposedly world-class, and they work miracles on this show. No. Who am I kidding? Nobody gets over a psychotic break in a few. The fact that she is wandering around ordering lattes makes me incredibly nervous for her own well-being. Is she faking it? Is she just telling the doctors what they want to hear, so she could get out and get back home? I also have to wonder where Tessa fits into all of this. Tessa has been standing by Mariah through thick and thin, but even she has to be exhausted by this constant roller coaster. Tessa cancelled her career opportunities. She put her entire life on hold just to support Mariah through this psychotic break. When Mariah walks through those doors, Tessa is going to be thrilled, but I guarantee you she is also going to be walking on. She will be watching Mariah's every single move, terrified that one wrong word or one glimpse of a baby stroller will send Mariah spiraling right back into the darkness. And honestly, can we talk about how unfair this all is to Abby? Abby has been the ultimate team player throughout this entire surrogate process. She welcomed Mariah into her home, she supported her, she loved her like a sister. And in return, her baby was stolen, her husband is alienating her, and her family is fractured. Abby is trying so hard to keep the peace. She is trying to understand Devon's rage, while also trying to find some semblance of forgiveness for Mariah, because she knows Mariah was sick. But Devon is making it impossible. Every time Abby tries to bridge the gap, Devon builds a taller wall. It makes me wonder if Devon's anger is actually masking something else. Is he feeling guilty? Does he feel like he failed to protect Dominic on his watch? Sometimes, when people are dealing with intense guilt, they project it outward as blinding rage towards someone else. Mariah is the perfect scapegoat for Devon's own feelings of inadequacy as a father. If he can focus all his energy on hating her, he doesn't have to look in the mirror and face his own insecurities. It is classic projection, and it is destroying his marriage to Abby, piece by piece. I know some people are loving this storyline because it brings so much intense interpersonal conflict, but personally, I just want to see these characters act like rational adults for 5 minutes. But this is The Young and the Restless, so I guess that is asking way too much. We are definitely heading toward a massive collision. Devon's fate restraint is going to crack. Mariah's miraculous recovery is going to be tested. And Abby is going to be caught right in the middle of the crossfire, desperately trying to protect her son from the collateral damage. I'm going to be glued to my screen for the rest of the week, because there is no way this fragile piece lasts. The writers are clearly setting up a false sense of security before they pull the rug out from under us again. Will Devon do something drastic? Will he try to get a restraining order? Will Mariah inevitably wander over to the Chancellor Mansion just to get a glimpse of the baby? I am dreading it and anticipating it all at the same time. This show knows exactly how to keep us hooked, even when it makes us incredibly frustrated. What do you guys think? Let me know, because I definitely need to share this with people who get it.